I love the medical field, and I really just wanted to see the insides of EMT, because you know, these people help us every day. They're always there when you call. I just wanted to get a feel for it.
Not everybody is built to go to college. This is a program that you can come to the fire department or at the new trades program and take and have an EMT license.
If anybody has any interest in EMS or medical field, it definitely is a good start on the job. I also feel like if you have interest in being a firefighter, that this is definitely the place to start.
High school kids should take this class because they want to make a difference. If they come into this class thinking that it's not what they want to do for a career field, they're not going to put in the time or the effort. In my eyes, if they feel like they want to be a part of the community and help the community, this is why they should be here.
This class is great for people who want to help people in a sort of non-conventional way, not just in the hospital or in the doctor's office.
It's a call.
Days vary extraordinarily from just coming in and taking notes while you're in lecture to being on the back of the ambulance practicing.
One, you show up on time. Chris or Chad will give you a presentation, a PowerPoint. It's always good to take notes.
You may get a quiz every couple chapters.
We go over probably about a chapter a day, test every Friday usually, quizzes, and then we'll have a big test over 4 chapters at once.
You know, this class is not easy. It's a hard class. You have to put the time in, you have to study. At first, I think the students didn't realize how hard this class actually is.
No day is ever really the same, which is a nice thing about this class. It doesn't get repetitive.
This class is a 9-month class, with the same with all school year. So that helps a little bit to where it's slow.
There's workbooks and sometimes they'll give homework, but nothing too grilling. They kind of treat you like an actual adult rather than like a child. They let you know that you have your own responsibilities, so they're not going to force you to be here if you don't want to. Like, it's up to you, so you get the feel of like the responsibility of actually having to do what you need to do.
The great thing about this class is you're not in a traditional classroom, so you're not sitting at a desk in front of a whiteboard for 2 hours. You're in the fire station getting to hear the radio calls, seeing how other people work on the radio. You are out here working in the ambulance, making sure everything's the way it should be, and working with your classmates to make sure that your skills are acceptable for when you get out in the field.
Taking the national exam, you can come straight out and be an EMT. So you don't technically have to even attend college at that point. You didn't want to unless you wanted to further your education into paramedicine or possibly nursing. In the clinical setting that you get here, you get to kind of see all diverse locations of what you could possibly get into. Because you do ER time, we take a tour through dispatch that they could possibly get into that.
The clinicals and like just the skills we have to know are really fun to do, like the blood pressure, feeling for pulses, listening to the lungs.
So there's an opportunity that these kids could immediately start making decent money at 18, 19 years old.
I would say getting a head start for sure. It's a college class, but you don't have to pay for it technically, unless you have to pay for books. It's also good if you're interested in the EMS. It's a good head start and to actually get a feel for it, where you actually get to see patients and get to ride in the ambulance. It's a good time, I think.
Study, do your workbook, read. If you're not willing to put the extra time in, it's probably not going to be the class for you.
If you think you have studied enough, you haven't, study more. Just make sure you're putting in the work, because don't do it unless you really want to, because it's a big responsibility.
Show up on time, make sure you do your workbook. If you're absent and or sick, always contact Chris or Chad.
Do not procrastinate, so as soon as you're allowed to get into clinicals, start your time.
Be here. If you're not going to be here, you're going to fall behind and you're going to miss the material. Everything that we teach is very critical. If you want to help people, this is the class for you.
Help you out. So tell me that story then.
Yeah. Okay. I think it was like the third call I was on. but it was a cardiac arrest up here at Taco Bell, and they had the Lucas machine attached. That was really cool. That machine is crazy to see working. It like goes at it like, I mean, robotic because it is, but it's really crazy. I got to help cut the patient's clothes off. I saw them put in an airway in the ambulance, and then at the hospital they had a fire call, so I had to stay there, and the ER doctor kind of took me under her wing, and I got to see her use a camera down the patient's throat and put in a more sufficient airway than what they had, and I got to see her heart attack on the monitor, and felt for ephemeral pulses, and all of it was just like, there's almost no time to think, but like you have to think, you know, because you're on your feet and it's fast, and your adrenaline's rushing. So I kind of loved it, and it swayed me. I wasn't not really sure what I want to do anymore. Maybe the ER side of things rather than an OB/GYN, which is what I had originally planned for.
You been out on calls yet?
Yeah.
What's your most interesting one without sharing the patient's name?
So just the other day, I went out for a unconscious male at Ruby Tuesdays. We got there. Well, he'd been informed on the radio ahead of time that CPR was in progress. We got there and the patient was unconscious. He had fallen from the bar stool for an unknown reason.
Yeah, sorry.
We got to load him into the ambulance. I got to put in oral airway into him and bag him and Narcan him, which after IV Narcan, he perked right back up. Oh. And we got him to the hospital. It was a very interesting call, and I got to do a lot of skills and work hands-on a lot with the medics.
Intermediate, which they're able to start IVs, give some medications. Paramedic is where you're able to give narcotics and do a lot more stuff like that. Some of the ambulance services will pay for them to go to paramedic class. Litchfield Fire Department I think we just hired 2 new guys. They're EMT basics. They're 21 years old. They went to the EMT class. They're going to be firefighters here, but they put themselves through the fire training, or their fire department did, and they're at 21, and they're going to start working here. I don't know what the start pay, but it's around probably $50,000 or $60,000. When you get hired, you're getting paid to do your job, and so you have to know your job, and that would be the same way with this class. They're getting on once you start getting paid as anything else in life. You have to know what your job is.
Anything else you want to share about this? Any parting thoughts? Any advice you want to give kids besides that? Anything like that?
Come in open-minded, obviously. If you're coming in open-minded, this may not have been your first career choice, but it does, as we've noticed with this class now, some people have actually changed their career path by taking this class. So you may get in here and feel like this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, and better yourself and help in the community, because there is great satisfaction in that.